Hey man, if you've ever looked around and wondered why long-term relationships today feel fragile, unstable, or completely hollow compared to what our fathers and grandfathers experienced, you're not imagining things. Something fundamental has shifted in how modern women relate, commit, and attach. The expectations, the emotional standards, the cultural messages, everything has changed so drastically that most men don't even realize they're walking into a dynamic that's designed to fail before it begins. And the tragedy is that men are still entering relationships with the old mindset, while women are entering with a new one, creating a mismatch so deep that stability becomes almost impossible. A long time ago, connection was rooted in survival, loyalty, partnership, shared hardship, and genuine emotional reliance. Today, it's rooted in validation, convenience, temporary excitement, and unrealistic fantasy. Instead of building a life together, modern couples start relationships by evaluating who offers the most emotional stimulation, status, or lifestyle. And women, whether they admit it or not, have been influenced by a world that constantly whispers in their ear, "You deserve better, don't settle, you can always upgrade." That message sits quietly in their subconscious through social media, friends, influencers, society, and it erodes their ability to appreciate what they already have. This constant internal comparison is one of the biggest reasons relationships crumble today. A woman no longer sees the man in front of her, she sees the imaginary version of what she thinks she could have if she reached higher. She compares her partner to strangers on Instagram, fictional men in movies, or couples who curate their highlight reels online. And in that comparison, real relationships lose their value, because nothing real can compete with fantasy, and women today are drowning in fantasy. Another major shift is that emotional maturity has declined. Instead of learning accountability, patience, conflict resolution, and partnership, modern women are encouraged to indulge their emotions without self-control. Instead of working through challenges, they run. Instead of self-reflection, they blame. Instead of loyalty, they choose convenience. And the moment discomfort appears, the very thing relationships naturally come with, they see it as a sign that something better is waiting outside the door. Marriage can't survive when one side refuses to sit with discomfort. Men, on the other hand, still enter relationships wanting to provide, protect, build, and stay committed. They want stability. They want a partner who grows with them, but they are now dealing with women who have internalized the belief that commitment is optional, promises are flexible, emotional fulfillment must be constant, and leaving is always an acceptable solution if feelings fluctuate. When someone treats emotions as truth, every temporary feeling becomes a reason to abandon the relationship. Modern dating has also made detachment incredibly easy. The moment conflict arises, a woman has dozens of distractions, alternatives, and escape routes. Social media attention, dating apps, old connections, male friends, or simply the illusion of endless options. All of it convinces her that stepping away is better than working things out. Commitment cannot root itself in a mind that believes it can always find something better with minimal effort. And then comes the biggest silent killer of modern marriages: entitlement. Today's culture has fed many women the idea that they deserve unconditional emotional attention, endless support, perfect communication, constant affection, and financial security, without offering the same level of effort in return. They want the rewards of a relationship without the responsibility. They want the benefits without the sacrifice. They want the title without the loyalty. And when a woman enters a relationship with entitlement instead of gratitude, it's only a matter of time before resentment replaces affection. The rise of independence also comes with an invisible cost. Independence is good, but hyper-independence destroys connection. Many women today take pride in not needing a man emotionally, financially, or mentally, but relationships aren't built on not needing each other. They're built on mutual reliance, interdependence, and trust. How can a marriage thrive when one partner sees dependence as weakness instead of intimacy? A woman who refuses to lean on a man emotionally eventually leaves him feeling useless, invisible, and unappreciated, and no relationship can survive that. Another reason long-term commitment is dying is because modern women often confuse boredom with incompatibility. They expect constant excitement, constant emotional highs, constant novelty. They want the honeymoon phase to last forever. The real connection evolves, it deepens, stabilizes, matures. When a woman expects the emotional roller coaster to never slow down, she interprets stability as dissatisfaction. And when boredom becomes a reason to walk away, no marriage can last. Patience has also disappeared. Instead of understanding that relationships go through seasons, closeness, distance, growth, struggle, many women expect everything to be perfect instantly, and when life gets stressful or messy, they lose interest. Marriage requires long-term emotional durability, but modern society encourages immediate gratification and zero discomfort. You cannot build something lasting with someone who cannot emotionally endure discomfort. One of the saddest truths is that many women today are far more loyal to their feelings than they are to their partner. If emotion shifts, loyalty shifts. If perspective changes, commitment changes. If fear rises, attachment weakens. Feelings are volatile, and trying to create stability with someone who follows their emotions instead of their principles becomes a losing battle. Another often overlooked issue is the influence of friends. Many modern women have circles that encourage impulsive decisions, self-centered behavior, and emotional overreactions. Instead of helping them reflect, these circles often fuel dissatisfaction. They plant seeds of doubt. You deserve more. He's not doing enough. You shouldn't have to put up with that, even when the relationship is healthy and stable. One emotionally charged conversation with a friend can undo months of progress with her partner. Let's not ignore how deeply social media has reshaped expectations. Women see the best moments of other people's lives every day. Luxury dates, vacations, gifts, perfect couples, and that constant exposure shapes their sense of what a partnership should look like. They begin to believe that ordinary love, the kind built on presence, patience, and everyday effort, isn't enough. When the simplest, purest forms of connection get undervalued, marriages lose their foundation. And here's something many men don't realize. Today's culture teaches women to prioritize self-love over partnership. Even when self-love becomes self-absorption, they're encouraged to focus on themselves, put themselves first, never tolerate anything less than perfect. But this mindset, when taken to the extreme, kills any chance of long-term stability. Because partnership is never about constant self-prioritization, it's about shared priorities. Communication has also changed. Instead of discussing problems openly, many women now express their emotions through passive behavior, withdrawal, silence, avoidance, emotional distance. Instead of addressing concerns, they shut down. Instead of working things out, they let resentment accumulate. This emotional disconnect becomes the silent poison that eventually kills the relationship. The decline in accountability is another major factor. Modern culture encourages women to avoid responsibility for their part in conflict. Everything becomes the man's fault: his lack of effort, his emotional availability, his communication style, his behavior. This inability to self-reflect prevents growth, and a relationship without growth becomes a relationship without a future. Modern marriages also suffer because many women prioritize external validation over internal connection. Compliments from strangers hit harder than affection from their partner. Likes on Instagram matter more than loyalty at home. They crave attention from the outside world while neglecting the stability inside their own home. When a woman values external validation, the man she's with becomes replaceable. One of the deepest issues is that modern women often expect a man to be everything: her emotional therapist, financial provider, constant entertainer, stable leader, supportive friend, romantic partner, and personal motivator. That level of expectation is impossible for any human being to fulfill consistently. When the weight of all those expectations crushes the man, he pulls back, and she interprets his exhaustion as lack of effort. Conflict resolution has also collapsed. Instead of addressing issues with calmness and partnership, many women escalate conflict with emotional extremes: crying, shutting down, guilt trips, withdrawal, or irrational reactions. Marriage cannot survive emotional immaturity. Stability requires regulation, not explosions. Today's culture also encourages women to abandon relationships the moment they feel misunderstood. But misunderstanding is natural, even healthy. It creates opportunities to grow closer. But when a woman believes misunderstanding equals incompatibility, she loses patience. She believes the right partner should automatically understand her without communication. This unrealistic expectation dooms relationships to fail. Another issue lies in shifting priorities. Many women prioritize career, lifestyle, freedom, and independence over partnership, which is fine, but they still expect a relationship to give them emotional fulfillment without requiring emotional compromise. They want both worlds without paying the emotional cost of either. And then there's the biggest truth. society has removed consequences from impulsive emotional decisions. Walking away is praised, self-prioritization is encouraged, devaluing men is normalized, commitment is optional, loyalty is flexible, and when there are no consequences for detachment, detachment becomes the default response. This is why so many modern marriages are unhappy, not because love doesn't exist, but because emotional discipline doesn't. Without discipline, loyalty, maturity, gratitude, and accountability, connection cannot survive, and men who seek stability are now forced to navigate relationships with women who chase emotional highs instead of emotional depth. But here's the powerful part, brother. Once you understand this, you stop blaming yourself for dynamics you didn't create. You stop trying to fix someone who doesn't want to be emotionally grounded. You stop carrying the burden of holding the relationship together. You start seeing that modern relationships require a level of wisdom, boundaries, and clarity that most men never develop because they're too busy trying to make things work with someone who doesn't understand partnership. And the moment you reach this clarity, everything changes. You stop idealizing connection. You start observing behavior. You stop chasing emotional chaos and begin valuing emotional maturity. And whether you enter a relationship or choose to remain independent, you do so from strength, not desperation, because a man who understands the truth about modern dynamics becomes the kind of man who cannot be broken by them.